Hey guys, it's Karen and I'm here to talk about the Garden of Wisdom Daily Hydrator. Do you remember I said I was interested in trying this, and I went and ordered it immediately after that video. I think it was the Garden of Wisdom Empties, and I've been using it for about 3 or 4 days. It comes in a bit bigger than their usual little pumps, but it's the same type of pump bottle. The same issue with their pump bottle actually, that you have to be careful how you depress it, because if you depress it too quickly then it sort of shoots out. So yeah, you have to be very careful how you press that button. But this is, I think, a 60ml bottle, so it's quite an amount you get in here. So I've got a few notes here. It was £10 for this 60ml, so not an expensive one at all, especially because you're getting 60ml, so that's good. It feels light and it doesn't feel like there's any oil in here, but the ingredients are really interesting. And there's nothing wrong, I have no issue with the ingredients at all. The first ingredient is spring water, then there is sodium PCA, which is a really nice, I think it's a humectant, it's a really nice ingredient that the skin kind of produces anyway, and it's a really nice nourishing ingredient for the skin. And then there's a lot of oils in there. But this doesn't feel to me like it has got any oil in it whatsoever, because when you put some of this on and rub it in, it almost instantly dries. Well, not almost instantly, because that's me. I'll tell you when it's drying. It feels more like, that's it starting to dry now, it feels more like the sort of niacin or hyaluronic acid type thing with a little bit more slip to it. So that's it dry now, but there is no, like, that's it matte. You know, it feels like it's then a matte finish. And to me, to have all of those oils in, I don't understand how it feels so matte. I'm really confused by that. I've never ever felt that from a product. Like I said, it feels more like, if I had to use this in a blind test, I would have said that this was a niacin serum or a peptide serum or something like that, not something that had oils in it at all. It does not feel like it's got any oil in it at all. Like I said, it feels, it's completely matte now. There is no slip there at all, which was very surprising to me. Now, it does actually say on there that it's light, it's non-greasy, it's non-oily, and that's certainly true. Talk about this as being a gentle moisturiser, which they say to apply after serums. So I'm assuming they mean apply it after your actives, so serums that maybe like a retinol or niacin, or, you know, the actives that you're using. And then it says to allow to sink in before applying. What does it say? Allow to sink in. Directions: apply a light layer on clean fingertips and smooth across face after serum. Allow for product to sink in before using any other product. So it does seem to suggest that you're using it like a serum, as in you're going to use something afterwards, even though it is a moisturiser. I tried to use this on its own to see, because they're suggesting it is a light moisturiser, to see if it could be used on its own. But to me, because it dries down to that matte feeling, it made my skin feel very tight very quickly. And so I knew that it wasn't something that could be used on its own. And I would say that my skin is, I would say it's normal to dry at the moment. Yeah, the main area of my face is normal to dry. And yeah, using it on its own, it just wasn't enough. No way, I would need to put a moisturiser on top. But the great thing about the ordinary SPF that I bought is that using it alone made my skin feel tight. And so I now have something that I can test out other hydrators to see how well they work, if that makes sense. So as I did with the amino acids, I could test this underneath the SPF from The Ordinary, because if I use the SPF from The Ordinary on its own without some kind of hydration underneath, it would make my skin feel tight. So I thought, well, I'll try this underneath it and see if this stops my skin being tight, and it did. So if I use this and then the SPF from The Ordinary, I was absolutely fine and my skin didn't feel tight at all. Although this did feel more like the niacin and hyaluronic acid type serums, it didn't ball up or pill on my skin with other skincare as they would do, so that was a good thing. There was no balling up whatsoever with anything that I tried it with. It felt nice going on, it felt nice enough. It didn't feel hydrating going on, you know. I didn't get the feeling putting it on that it was giving me hydration, because like I said, it actually gave me a matte base. It made my skin feel tight. It was only using it in combination with something that would normally also make my skin feel tight that I knew it was giving me hydration, if that makes sense. There isn't much more to say about this, other than I'm not sure where you would fit this in your routine, other than this is very similar, I think, to the amino acids, to the idea of the amino acids from The Ordinary, in that if you don't like using a hyaluronic acid, if you've got very dry skin, then you're going to want something extra in your skincare routine. And that extra would be a hyaluronic acid, an oil, or something like the amino acids, or something like this, a daily hydrator. And another idea I had, which is something I might do with this, because I don't like this enough to want to use this. Like, it's just okay. I prefer the amino acids from The Ordinary. If I had to choose one, I'll be using it underneath the SPF from The Ordinary. It makes that usable. So it definitely, this one and the amino acids both make it possible for me to use the SPF. But this one isn't as nice feeling as the amino acids. The amino acids has more of an oily feel, and I prefer that personally. But what might make this useful for me is I want to use my alpha lipoic acid from The Ordinary, but I don't want to use that neat. It's too strong for me to use it neat, and I occasionally add it to moisturizers if I'm using a moisturizer. This actually would be, I think, a good serum for me to add 1 or 2 drops to, and to use it with this. So that's something that I might do personally, just to make this a little bit more appealing to me. I don't think it would change the way it feels, but it would just, alpha lipoic acid makes your skin feel amazing, and I think it might just suit this up a bit. So I would say if you like the feeling of hyaluronic acid serums, niacin serums, peptide serums, you will probably like the feeling of this as well. And if you're looking for just something else to add into your routine to give some extra hydration, and you prefer a light, non-greasy feel, then this would be for you. And it's a good price, like I said, £10 for a big bottle. It's another one of those where you don't need to use very much at all, and it will cover your whole face and neck. So that's everything. Let me know if you have tried this and what you think about it, and I will speak to you again soon.